All right, we're pretty excited to be releasing the 1130S. It's the big brother of the 980S. It's one size up, and it's been pretty impressive. We're pretty excited for the release of this one. Ben, do you want to go through why you've been loving it, and maybe the bit of a story behind why we want it to be doing for everyone?
Yeah, so I guess I got it sent to me during Gold Coast winter, which is pretty light winds, low wind season, and a lot of flat days as well. But yeah, I've been doing downwinders on it in like 8 to 12 knots. Not many white caps, if any, and yeah, just super user friendly. It feels like anyone's going to be able to downwind this just about. But in the small waves as well, it's like that extra step from the 980, obviously, and it's just like crazy user friendly. Like I went out to test it on my prone board and was kind of like, I'll just test it and go in. And I ended up out for a couple of hours just floating around on this thing, pumping out of any section and still having fun turning it and just feeling how solid it is, and just really frothing on the idea of sort of beginners to intermediates surfing this wing and learning to downwind also. So yeah, that's probably the main thing I've noticed with this wing.
Yeah. And how about you, Marcus? What have you found with the 1130?
Yeah, same. Just love it as the sort of, at my weight, just the novelty wing. I've had some sessions where I would have been just staying at home. 8 to 10 knots downwind, actually having fun, not just going out for the sake of it. Turning.
It's worth mentioning on that actually, Marcus would never use anything bigger than basically 850 ever, like on any previous foils he used to use as well.
Yep.
He was stuck on the biggest size 850, and it wasn't worth him going out if he had to use a bigger foil. But yeah, I messaged him the other day. I said, how's it going? He was light, but I had heaps of fun on this big foil. And I was like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Made him repeat himself.
Yeah. Well, I think previously as well, the bigger foils of the brand I was using, they just were a little different to the smaller foil I was using, and it wasn't as much fun for that discipline. I've been wrapped with this. It's got really similar qualities to the other S series. Once again, just scaled, and so really carries that glide feature that everyone has felt from the S series if they've tried it, and super easy to use. Bottom end just goes forever. You could easily put a learner on this with a long fuse and a big tail for winging, no problem. They're going to have heaps of stability from the wing, and it's not a boosty wing. Our foils don't really boost you. You could put an 80 kilo guy on this, even in small prone stuff, to learn to prone confidently without sending him into the sky. So yeah, I'm really excited about where it's starting to push code more into the learner market as well. And for guys that can foil, if they have one of these, it's going to give them some sessions that they would have never had.
For sure. For me, the 1130's been, I guess, the step up for the bay runs. I've been training for Molokai, and there's been days where the surf is pretty well flat. The wind is offshore, so to catch a wave was hard enough on the stand-up. On this, you could paddle up in the flat, like pretty easy, very easily for me. A little bit harder for other people, but it's the easiest to paddle up. And I was pumping around I was having to stop after like 20 minutes of pumping around and catching tiny little waves. It was super fun. And then for bay runs, like you said, the way that it surfs, it just feels like the 850, the way it turns. It feels like the 850 does when we first got it, but matched with the lower energy, just carves. You get tips out, no worries. The glide's ridiculous. The start of a botany run, paddle up in the flat, just find a little boat wake, gliding on this boat wake forever. It actually took us the wrong direction, and then sort of getting back on track. I covered almost 12.5 kilometers for a 7.5 kilometer run. So I was zigging and zagging on that foil like you wouldn't believe, and just having a blast. It's a surfy, big wing that is easy to get up, easy to glide, I really love it. Likewise at Scott's Head, it was basically flat. They had to run. They called the foil and surf event off because there were no waves. I went out in the 11:30 and was getting 3 or 4 turns in, pumping around in circles, and a lot of the other guys couldn't even catch a wave. So it was in those tiny conditions. The 11:30 is it's my go-to. I love it. It's always in the car.